I wanted to show you this building. This building is called a Palladium.
No, it is not.
It is a Palladium. What is it?
It is the Canadian Tire Center.
It's not the Canadian Tire Center. It used to be the Scotiabank Center.
Scotiabank Place.
Scotiabank, and then before that, it was the Corral Center.
That's right.
So it
and
is.
Before that, it was the Palladium.
And so it is a Palladium, and that highway right over there is called Palladium Drive.
It is. All those name changes. It is still Palladium Drive. Imagine that.
And I refuse to call this a different name. This is the Palladium.
So you don't care about all those sponsors who give all that money so that we can watch hockey?
We?
Well, I.
You haven't watched hockey there?
Well, no. But even a televised hockey game, it still needs a place to play.
And it is a Palladium. And every time they change the name, and the people on the radio, they're so obedient to this, right? As soon as it was always the Corral Center, and then all of a sudden, the next day, it's like it's Scotiabank Place, and they never refer to it as the Corral Center ever again. And then Scotiabank, yes.
And all those names they changed just didn't make the team play any better.
That's the Senators. The Ottawa Senators is the team, I think. That was a very original name. It was, prefer that to the Ottawa Rough Riders, then the Calgary, which were the two Rough Rider teams.
Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Yes.
And the Ottawa Rough Riders.
See,
so they are two different names.
So you put a space in. I mean, we only have 10 cities in Canada.
But now
and they couldn't even come up with two names.
But now you can't say it anymore because now the Ottawa team is called the Red Blacks.
The Ottawa Red Blacks.
Why red and black? Why not green and purple?
Well, I won't go there. But I have my opinion. I love you, Willem. Anyway, that's my opinion about the Palladium. Do they do this in your town? They must spend, I wonder how much money it costs them to have the Palladium called by their name. I wonder how much Canadian Tire had to spend to get the name.
I'm sure it's a considerable amount.
You think 10,000 would cover it?
No.
100,000?
Probably in the millions for sure.
In the millions?
I think so.
So
Yeah,
at least we know that Canadian Tire's not making a lot of profit anymore. They must make a lot of profit if they can spend $1 million on a name.
And it's all, I'm sure it's all a write-off, a tax write-off too. So
a tax write-off. That's so that the stock people, what are they called? Oh, the shareholders. So the shareholders, stock people. The only way, if you don't like it, how much profit a certain company makes, the only way to get into that is to buy stock in that company, and then the shares get, when they make a profit, gets divided up among the shareholders. Is that right?
They can do that, but they don't always do that. So it's called dividend, and not all companies pay dividends.
If they don't pay dividends, there's no use having them. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these exceedingly important matters.
If you now talk to a financial advisor.
That's right, and you know why financial advisors are so rich and drive amazingly beautiful cars and live in beautiful, huge houses? It's because they take your money that you so dutifully put away for your retirement, and every time they move it from here to there, they get some of it. And so they get all those some of it's forever from everybody whose money is in there forever. And all they have to do is move some of it. And if the stock market crashes and you lose your money, they've still been paid. And so I always think, why would I want to take my money and put it into the stock market and take the chance of losing it when I could spend it and have it now? I looked around after the stock market crashed. There were so many people that lost like $60,000 and everything else, and I was just glad that we had not been pinching pennies.
But it only have been possible because we have a nice, juicy government pension that is enough to live on. if you don't have a pension that's enough to live on, and the Canadian, the CPP pension is hardly enough to live on, you're forced to save separately, and you might want to put it in stocks, because otherwise the value of it is eaten up by taxes and inflation. So it is important to save. So
I don't agree with that, but that's not here or there, because it's not my money, it's his money, and we never had enough to save anyway. So we're very fortunate that he has a pension, because if the government, which that pension can be gone whenever a budget shows up, those budgets, they come up and they can just, axe a bunch of jobs, government, downsizing and whatever.
So far they haven't done it retroactively, so they will, if they going to slash pensions, it'll be new pensions of people who are now still working. They could, in theory, touch existing pensions of people who are already retired, but they can, but they might not, because it will be a huge backlash and they wouldn't win the next election with pensions like that. So you're probably fairly safe, but who can tell?
There we go. And just in case you have the false notion that government employees make tons of money, government employees, if they were working in the private sector, just, in a company somewhere else doing the same thing, would make a ton more money. Just in case you thought that differently about that. So there you have it. This is my opinion on the Palladium and the name of the Palladium and stocks in those people who have the name of the Palladium and other stocks, and then into retirement we got, and government income. Gee, we sure you can make a video like this at home. You can just ramble away and change the subject as many times as you want.
You can give any opinion you like.
You can be wrong too.
You're allowed to be wrong.
This is on the internet, and one thing about the internet is everybody's opinion pretends to be right. And if you want to know anything, if you want anything to agree with you, you just type it in. You can type in a whole sentence that the statement that you believe want other people to agree with, or you want to see if other people agree with it. Just type it in. I'm sure they do. There are someone somewhere, and so you can back up any opinion you have by sourcing the internet. So, browse around, enjoy your day, and remember, you heard it here last, and the opinion of those in the video do not reflect the opinion of those who view it. Ta-ta! Say goodbye, Willem.
Goodbye.
You're supposed to say goodbye, Willem. Say goodbye, Willem.
I'm not playing a game anymore.
Goodbye, Willem. Goodbye, Nancy. Do you know where your children are?